By the end of stage 1, 10 seconds separated the top 15, but there was huge foreign interest as well. First up, the Estonians of Norsalu and Kuli, and also a German pairing, and then there were the Russians, Viktor Balakan and his co-driver Svetlana Lukvanova. Now, Tony Jardine is at the start. What is his view of the conditions?
Well, I think I'm an expert at surviving, that's for sure, especially after retiring last year out in minus 40 something. But I think we just play ourselves in, and we've got to get a good rhythm going and don't get too excited. Then I think we can start to have a little fight with them. But I'd say Natalie should be winning in her Evo 6, and she's an up-and-coming star. I mean, I'm over the hill now. We're here for fun.
I think tonight, we just have to get round, and, all the spectator stages are really bad for us because all the locals know it so well that we're going to look stupid.
Well, I have to tell you, Natalie couldn't have been further from the truth. She didn't look stupid at all. In fact, a great performance by Natalie on special stage 1. She would climb 19 places on that first stage. Tony Jardine in the number 89 Mitsubishi Evo 4, and we can join Des Kelly calling out the pace notes.
80, fast medium right, opens past sign. Fast medium right, opens past sign. 80, fast medium right, opens to 80, caution, long flat left to immediate square left.
Well, you can see there Tony working hard away at the wheel, Des trying to preempt what exactly was going on. The locals, meantime, were having a drop of the local brew to keep out the cold. Now back to the top of the leaderboard, and you can see how much impact the Toyota World Rally car, the little Corolla, was having. Also making an impact was Thomas Radström. He was the leader after 2 special stages by just 0.4 of a second from Hagström. Sebastian Lindholm was down in 4th place. But with 4 stages completed, the leaders arrived back at service to have their cars fettled. What did Thomas Radström think of his day so far?
First 4 stages behind, what's the feeling?
Well, the roads are very good, fantastic conditions, but I think this starting gap with 1 minute between the cars, it's absolutely dangerous. I mean, we are running in 200 kilometers and can't see nothing. So I hope absolutely the organizer can give us 2 minutes. I think one car, this Janne Tuhino, is off already. He couldn't see the road. I mean, it's not fun.
You started quite fast for the first couple of stages, but the 2 others, Hagström, of course, has been a little bit faster. He's got a good advantage for the number 1.
Absolutely. I mean, there's the key. I mean, I have to. If you are on 7,006 gear and the road is gone, if you are not completely gone in your head, you have to lift off.
How's it going, Natalie?
Not so good. We had a really hard dip in there, and it's just knocked the steering out, so it's a bit all over the shop. And it was very rutted in there. It's just like driving on train tracks. It's just pulling you all over the place. But the turning just wasn't right after we knocked it out. So every time we came to like a tight corner, we'd understeer off. But not to worry. Still going. There's lots of people off in there.
Well, certainly the service area was packed. Lots of different views amongst the drivers. Natalie with some concerns, but not as great a problem as that of Tony Jardine. Here he was in one of the stages, stopped. They were trying to fix the problem. They did make it to the start of the next stage, and we joined them there.
3, 2, 1, go! Thank you. 300. That's the crest. 100. Long crest, easy right to caution 50. Caution flight 20. Right.
Yeah, 20.
Medium right, long. Sorry. Flying finish, 200. Stop. Well done, Tony.
Well done, you. Excellent. Thank you.
A solid performance all round then for Tony Jardine and Des Kelly, and they return to service after special stage 4, where team manager Mike Brown would take a look at the problem that was causing them to lose time in some of those stages. But from Tony's point of view, how was the event so far?
We're enjoying it, but it's really difficult because there's a lot of mist and snow, dust, and there's a lot of guys going off because it's freezing. The temperatures are plummeting down now. So suddenly the car breaks away. The guys are trying to fix the car because we're on 3 cylinders, and we have been since the start. And we've had a little problem going off into a snowbank, so we lost 7 minutes there. But I think you just got to keep going, haven't you, and have fun.
Well, the Finns were certainly having fun around the fire. There was a lot of vodka in evidence as well, which seemed to keep the cold spirits away. Meanwhile, out on the stages, and this was one of the main spectator stages, special stage 6, Hagström was absolutely flying. He was now the rally leader and certainly making his Toyota Corolla World Rally Car work ever so well. Radström, though, was determined to put in a challenge. He was now 5 seconds behind the rally leader, and don't count out Sebastian Lindholm. After a brief charge on special stages 5 and 6, he would be up to 3rd. Tony Jardine and Des Kelly were moving along quite nicely in the stage, although the poor visibility was causing Des to lose track of his pace notes.
200, sorry. Marked down wrong. 200. My mistake then.
Not an easy thing to do, to jump in the co-driver's seat alongside Tony Jardine and to keep an eye on those pace notes. And it was even a bigger problem just around the corner. Not the sort of thing you'd expect to find in a Finnish forest in the death of night.
Caution, bad right. 50. To flat left, 50. So It's a big one, yeah. 150.
A big one indeed, and testimony to how challenging the conditions were on the stages. And they didn't get any better as the first day came towards a close. The final stage saw them out on a frozen lake, and a few spectators came along for the fun too. Natalie, though, was already back at service, as was a co-driver, Pauline.
We finished tonight, which I think is good, because we're here for Natalie to get experience of driving in the snow. And I think tomorrow we can have more of a challenge because it will be daylight. I'm a bit worried about what the first 2 stages will be like tomorrow morning, because they were quite rough today and they'll be even more rutted tomorrow morning. So, but Natalie is gaining the experience, and that's what it's all about.
Had quite a few problems. First 2 stages weren't so bad, and then the 3rd stage we caught a bad bump and knocked all the steering out, so it's all over the shop. And that was for 3 and 4, and stage 5 we caught a guy 7 kilometres in, and we sat behind him for a good 2 kilometres because it was just too narrow to get past. And then the intercom went down for maybe the last 15 kilometres, couldn't hear anything, so we lost a lot of time there.
So this is your first time doing the Arctic Rally. After the first day, are you tempted to come back again next year?
I don't know, it's a bit early to say. I'll see how tomorrow goes, but no, it's good. I've learned a lot, but we just seem to be having a problem every stage. It's annoying, but tomorrow's a new day, so put all this behind us and just carry on. Got a long way to go.
How's the car running, Tony?
I think it's okay now. We've changed the plugs, we've changed the coil and some of the electrics, and it's firing again now, and we've also got the anti-lag system working, so we're kind of happy bunnies. But there's a bit of damage on the front left. We hit a snow wall. You just touch it, but of course in these temperatures it's like hitting concrete.
And the temperatures have been causing a problem?
Yeah, I mean there's quite a few people off, even on the street stage. There's a guy going off on the street stage, which was the last one of the day, and it is still a problem, you know, getting the grip. Luckily we've just looked at our Michelins, as you can see there, and the studs are all in good shape. So they're working quite well, and we're working okay. We're getting better and better. Daz is doing a great job on the timing.
Has to say that, he's got a whole day left.
But anyway, we you know, if we get it through to part foaming, we're through leg 1, so we're really pleased and enjoying ourselves immensely.
The crew, though, had some work to do before the final day, and to find out how Tony and Des got on, and Natalie too, join us right after the break. Welcome back to Finland and the Arctic Rally, where the second day got underway with Hagström continuing to lead the event. He was going to come under challenge, though, throughout the course of the day from one of his arch rivals, and that would be Thomas Radström. During the course of the day, these two Toyota Corolla World Rally Car drivers would swap places back and forth as each one set a quicker time on respective stages. Sebastian Lindholm in the number 3 car was also to be a factor, but he would drop back behind the top two. He was now 16 seconds off the leading pair. Natalie Barratt entered special stage 8 with the car popping and sputtering, but she was still climbing up the order in steady style. Meanwhile, Tony Jardine in his number 89 Auto Windscreens back car, his engine troubles were now behind him, seemingly. With temperatures now down to a bone-chilling -30, Juha Kangas and Mika Uspakainen were up to 4th place. Back at service area, though, was the leader, Radström.
So it's going to be a hard battle for the victory. There's long stages coming up now, next.
Yes, next one is 30 kilometers. Very bumpy and quite rough one.
So do you have to do some changes for the car and suspension?
I will change the spring to a softer one. To a harder one.
Well, the mechanics set about that work and we caught up with Pasi Häggström.
So Pasi, how's the morning start?
The first one was not going so well if we check the times, because we lost about 6 seconds to Thomas Rodström, and the next one is very rough. It's bumpy all the way through, 30 kilometers bumpy, so it's hard for the car and also hard for the driver to keep on a good line all the time, and also the first 15 kilometers is brand new, so nobody has driven those before, so it's same for everybody.
And the pace notes would be a factor too. Thundering through the forest in a Toyota World Rally car isn't for the faint-hearted, but certainly Pasi Häggström looked as though he was trying to make the most of it. But despite his maximum attack, he was still losing ground to Radström. By the end of special stage 12, his lead would be 38 seconds. Sebastian Lindholm was now falling behind the top two, a full minute 30 further back. Natalie had now completed 10 stages and we got her thoughts back at service.
Through those 2 stages we were about 1 minute and 10 seconds faster combined, but it's very rough in there. So it's very bumpy, there's a lot of cars off.
Yeah, there's going to be a long stage next.
Yeah. No, it'll be fine. It's the first stage we wreck it, so it's always a bit worrying. Because you know whether the notes are right or not. But, we'll see. Just keep it in.
I'm here with Natalie's parents, Doreen and Frank. Frank, how do you feel before the races?
I'm always excited for her. I'm not nervous, because it's something she wants to do very much, and I think it's perhaps sometimes more dangerous for her to be outside on the streets in England than it is to be here in the forests of ice and snow.
So Doreen, do you try to get to all of Natalie's rallies?
Yes, we go to all of them. She likes me to be there. I get nervous. I don't particularly enjoy it, but I support her all the time and all the way, really.
So this is Natalie's first time at the Arctic Rally. What do you think of the conditions out here for her driving?
Well, last year she went to Sweden, and I think she was a bit surprised because there wasn't anything like the snow and ice that there is here. And even for us it's quite difficult walking just underfoot. It's very, very slippy, and you soon realise when you step out of being nice and warm inside the car how cold it is out here. But she's coped very, very well really up to now in the testing and so on, so I think she'll do a good rally. I hope so anyway.
Tony Jardine had also hoped for a good rally, but how had those first 2 stages gone this morning? And more importantly, how was the problem with the car?
How's it been going this morning, Tony?
Good, much better, because we're back on 4 cylinders now. Mike Brown changed the coil and all the plugs, and it came back onto 4 cylinders. The only problem now is we're just losing water. It doesn't affect the speed of the car, but we have to keep checking. We don't know why. So that's the only problem. Des is chipping all the rust off, and both enjoying it. That last stage was great, superbly fast. And the visibility was a little bit better, which was nice.
Yeah, I think we took 45 seconds out of one of the stages. Better visibility. There's still a lot of cars going off though, so we're picking our way through a few hazards. I think we lost about 5 or 6 other cars on the way through those 2 stages that we saw. So it's still dangerous, but it's good fun.
And that danger and good performance continued into special stage 12 for Tony Jardine and Des Kelly, and they were now ahead of Natalie on the leaderboard. The special stage is here, very, very quick indeed, and also, as we've heard all the drivers say, very, very bumpy, and that was launching many of them off into the scenery. Add to that, problems for some with reliability.
Square right, bumps slippy. Another one off.
Yes, those slippy conditions had caught out another competitor, Des having to improvise on his pace notes and Tony losing time here as he tried to negotiate the right-hander past the stricken Subaru. Meanwhile, Natalie was working hard to bridge the gap that had opened between her and her British rival Jardine. Remember, they got a £10 bet on this. Natalie, though, was determined to make her skill show and pay off. Well, time we caught up with the third of our British trio, back in service, Davy Patterson.
The car's a little bit small and it bounces about in the ruts, but it's okay. The stages are very, very fast, a little bit scary.
But still, have you enjoyed?
Yes, enjoyed very much. Very, very difficult. Last night was my first time to drive at night. I've only ever done the rallies in the daytime, and that was my first time at night, which was all new to me. Nighttime, snow, all new, but very, very good.
There's going to be long stages coming next.
Some long stages to go, but I think now we have a better feeling for the car now, and we'll try and speed up a little bit now.
Okay.
Push on hard now.
So, do you enjoy your time in Finland?
Yeah. I've been to Finland before for the 1000 Lakes, but this is the first time for the Arctic Rally, and it's the first time we've had these snow conditions and so much ice. So it's very strange for us, and quite difficult at the first, but we are getting used to it now. It is good, but it is very different from rallying in Ireland. We have some rain, but mostly sunshine and green fields and tarmac roads. It's so different, very different.
So you are a big rally family. Are you always with Davy, watching his rallies?
No, we work in rallies all over the place in Ireland and Britain in particular. And David just competes not on a regular basis, but he has always wanted to do a proper snow rally. So he wanted to come to do this one, and he's thoroughly enjoying it. It's wonderful. One of them said it's like rallying on a Christmas card.
Now I wonder if Davy had told his mum and dad that he actually borrowed this Nissan from a friend. The only thing is, he didn't tell him which event he was coming to do. Meanwhile, at the top of the leaderboard, there was still a fierce battle going on between Hagström and Radström. Hagström started first on the road, but by the end of special stage 12, he was 38 seconds adrift from the new leader, Radström. Radström clearly giving it the maximum. One place further back in third, a minute and 33 back from the leader, was Lindholm, and Juha Kangas in car number 5 was 3 minutes adrift. Tony Jardine continued to make good, steady progress and was clearly thoroughly enjoying himself here in Finland. Natalie too continued to close the gap on her British rival, that tenner still up for grabs. Meanwhile, a second place man on the event, Hagström, was back at service, and he had something of a problem.
We lost the 6th gear and it was high-speed stage, so we lost about 30 seconds for Thomas, so that's the end of the game.
And now you are looking to a Swedish rally?
Yes, but here is still a long way to go, and I try to keep Sebastian Lindholm behind, so if possible we get the 6th gear in a good condition back, so hopefully we can manage to keep on ahead of Sebastian.
Okay, you leading now.
Yeah.
How's your feeling after our next special stage?
Well, it feels very good. We took a different tire choice and make a right one for the long one, and I try to push really hard as well.
No gearbox problem just like Paki Hagström?
No. Everything is running normal.
JJ, how's been going today?
Pretty well. You know, the day started very well. We have been very competitive until on stage 11. You know, I went off in a slow corner. I was just pushing a little bit too hard. It felt too good. So you know, we lost 5 minutes or something there. You know, so we lost too much basically. But you know, there's still, what is it, 4 special stages to go and quite a lot of kilometers, so we're just trying to go as fast as we can, and then we will see in the end.
Also trying to go as fast as he can was Thomas Radström, almost taking out the banking as he continued to extend his lead at the top of the table. Sebastian Lindholm was now pushing really hard. He sensed that that sixth-gear problem for Hegström might just give him the opportunity for the runners-up spot, and who knows if problems beset Radström. Juha Kangas was now up to 4th as they came towards the end of special stage 15. Meanwhile, Natalie was leaving service after special stage 12, and Gavin Cox explained why some time was lost.
She came at the end of the stage. She said there was a very bad knocking at the back of the car, and then as she drove past, we noticed she'd got a puncture, so she pulled over and changed it. I mean, there's not done any damage to the car, so the car's still fine, so no real problems really. Should have lost a bit of time with it, but other than that, it should be good.
In special stage 15, Hagström had backed off, or seemingly so anyway. Was there a major problem with the Toyota World Rally car?
You lost time, but still running.
Now the gearbox is working, so we try to do our best, but we get so much penalty time, so I think we can just get some Finnish championship points if possible.
How many minutes?
We get the time penalty 4.20 seconds, 4 minutes 20 seconds, so that's too much to give the other guys. So, but I try my best, and we will see what's happening.
Well, Pasi Hagström really wanted to uphold honours for Finland, but he looks anxious as he paces around the car. Meanwhile, in special stage 15, Radström had no such problems, as you can see. Later, and also on special stage 15, Tony Jardine emerged again, still going well and looking for a top 50 finish. Also on his mind was the wager between him and Natalie. Natalie was now making up time, and it looked like it might go to the wire between the two Brits. Talking of the wire, one man had already arrived there. Thomas Radström was the first Swede ever to win the Arctic Rally.
Congratulations, Thomas. First ever foreign winner in Arctic Rally.
Yes, feels not so bad.
How was the rally this year? 95 years ago when you were here, you had to retire when you were leading the rally, and now you had a really good second day.
Yes, it was working very good. Of course, it was working last night as well, but I mean, with 1 minute start gap between the car in the snow dust when it's -30, I mean, it's dangerous, and it was not possible to go flat.
Congratulations though to Thomas Radström as the winner, but what of our British trio? Well, Natalie finished the event despite a blown turbo water hose. In fact, she and Pauline were the first British females to complete the event since the 1970s. Hugely impressive. Davy Patterson finished too, but what of Tony Jardine?
Hello, hello. We're saved. We're saved. The survival training paid off. Oh my goodness me. Where have you been? We've been here about an hour. Well, I think we're both very disappointed, obviously, because we were nursing the car, and we had an overheating problem, and halfway through every stage we have to back off all the time to try and keep the temperature down, and we were doing it, and we were getting there, and then something has gone bang in the gearbox and it stopped. So end of Arctic Rally, final stage, maybe 7 kilometres from home. Des?
This is from Davy Patterson's mum. This is my extra survival training. It's Irish whiskey, which has kept us going for the last hour while we waited for you. But we're okay, we're still in good shape.
And of course, Tony, there's always next year.